Hello folks and welcome to this week's Hi-Fi News, etc. I have a slightly different hint tip for you, but we'll get to that. We have Hi-Fi News, of course, but before that, trivia. And this week's question is fairly simple. The middle name of Jimi Hendrix. You remember old Jimmy? Well, that was the same as that of a British company that built a worldwide reputation for the loudest amplifiers. What is the name of that company, and hence Jimmy's middle name? One more time, the middle name of Jimi Hendrix was the same as that of a British company that built a worldwide reputation for the loudest amplifiers. What is the name of the company? No Googling on this one, please, because you will get the answer very quickly. Otherwise, have a little muse, challenge yourself even, and have a little think, and at the end of this video I will let you know. Until then, Hi-Fi News. Now, I mentioned Hendrix. He used to own equipment by the UK company Leak, I believe, and that's the first news item. We have the re-emergence after 63 years of the Leak Sandwich speakers. They have been reborn. Now, the original Sandwich was released because the driver cones at the time, and all of the contemporaries were the same, they were not really stiff enough. Leak's mid-bass drive unit was the first to be constructed from a sandwich of different materials. In the original case, expanded polystyrene foam between two sheets of aluminium foil. The result was a light yet stiff drive unit. That was way back when. The cabinet, well, that also had innovations. It had new bracing techniques, and these techniques for both the drivers and the cabinet were copied by all and sundry at that time. Fast forward to this year, 2024, as I make this video, and the new Sandwich 150 and Sandwich 250 speakers are also using aluminium skin for the outer surfaces, bonded to a core of aircraft grade, well, it's PMI, I can't pronounce. I've had 3 goes and I've failed every single time, so I'll put it down here. It's a polymethyacrylamide, I may have got that right, structural foam to find that same famous stiffness in the drive units. Now, both of these designs are stand mounts. The 150 is a two-way design with a height of 41.5 centimeters. The 250 is a bit bigger. That's a three-way, and that stands 65.5 centimeters. Now, I have put in a review request, so hopefully one or both of those will turn up and we'll have a little look, shall we? Anyway, until then, the Sandwich 150 incorporates a 30mm textile dome tweeter and a mid-bass driver with 170mm aluminium foam core sandwich comb, while the 250 combines the same tweeter with a 280mm bass plus 108mm mid-range drivers, both of which have that same aluminium foam core sandwich. The treble unit, incidentally, also includes a damped rear chamber to absorb the output from the back of the 30mm dome. The speakers are supplied in matched mirror-imaged pairs, with the treble unit and, well, the mid-range unit in the case of the 250 offset from the center. The cabinet walls are formed from an outer layer of MDF and an inner layer of high-density particle board, and the middle bit, and there's another sandwich, is filled with a kind of special glue that bonds the layers and provides resonance damping. Now, the Sandwich 150 speaker, well, you can put that on a whole host of different stands. The 250 is a bit of an awkward shape, an awkward size, so there are specialist stands dedicated to that larger model. And those particular stands are made of high carbon steel. Prices, well, the Leak Sandwich 150 is priced at £999. The Sandwich 250 is priced at £1,999. I'll put links below in case you want to see more. Next, we're off to France. More speakers, this time from Elipson. Elipson has announced a pair of speakers, the W35XI powered speakers, replacing the earlier W35s. Being powered, they also arrive with a range of connectivity options, including Ethernet, Chromecast and AirPlay 2, plus aptX HD Bluetooth. Stand or wall mounted, the W35XI speakers are powered by a Class D amplifier that pushes out 350 watts. Other bonus sockets include things like optical, you get a 3.5mm auxiliary, you get support for streaming platforms with the included app, and all that jazz. Available in black, the price is £699. The tripod you can see here underneath these new speakers, that's separate, and they cost £149. Next, we have a couple of desktop headphone amplifiers from HIFIMan, the EF499 and 500. These are small footprint designs that also serve as headphone stands. The outputs include 6.35mm and XLR 4-pin balanced sockets. Inputs include coax, USB-B and USB-C. Presented in the same sized box with almost exactly the same weight, they do differ in their finish, but also the kind of DAC chip they use inside. The 499s use a Philips R2R DAC. The 500 uses HiFiMan's Himalaya LE ladder DAC. If you look at the spec, there is a difference in channel separation. The 500s have 131 decibels, the 499s 95. There's a greater signal to noise ratio from the 500s, 117 decibels as opposed to 99. And slightly more power from the 500s, 4.5 watts as opposed to 4.35. Prices, I have two per amp. For the 499s, you're looking at $299 or, unusually, £299. It's the same with the 500s, $459 or £459. Next, we have a bit of a mini music system from JBL called the L42MS. Basically, what you have here is a pair of JBL loudspeakers stuffed into a compact cabinet behind a Quadrax curved grille with tapered side edges, plus a black or natural walnut real wood veneer finish. Inside the cabinet are a pair of dual 4-inch mid-bass units and dual 3/4-inch aluminium dome tweeters with wave guides positioned to the left and right, powered by a 200-watt amplifier that sits alongside a 24-bit 96K DAC with a DSP. So expect lots of EQ settings to modify the sound. Also featured are two sets of analog stereo inputs. Basically, you're looking at a 3.5mm auxiliary and a pair of RCAs. You also get HDMI ARC for TV connection. In addition, you have Ethernet and you have Apple AirPlay 2 and Google Chromecast built in, plus Bluetooth, and they're controlled via an app. The L42MS is Roon ready, plus works with smart things. Now, that's a standard I don't often see in modern hi-fi, and I don't know why. But this one has it. Works with smart things. I just don't see it too often in hi-fi news reports. The L42MS also features built-in access to Spotify Connect and Tidal Connect via the JBL app. Price for this, £999. That is all they are your hi-fi news items for this week. Hint and tip. Now for this week's hint tip, I want to show you a kind of hi-fi tool that I use, a little gizmo. And in addition, I wanted to ask your advice, but we'll get to that. Now this little tool I use a few times each and every week. It's from Russ Andrews. It costs a mere £5 and it's known as the Easy CD Opener. Now you might be very well aware of similar tools to this one, and if you do, and this is where the advice comes in, please let me know, but this happens to be the one I use right now. Basically, it's a little plastic molding, weighs nothing at all, and features tiny blades in the underside. And those blades are protected by kind of flared cowls at the bottom. It's also great for removing the shrink wrap that covers CD jewel cases as well as DVD cases. That is, for this particular tool, the CD blade is positioned at one end, and on the other end is the DVD blade. Now, yes, of course, you can use a knife or you can use scissors or whatever, and of course I've done that too, but I've also had little accidents. Blades have slipped, for example, either hitting myself because I'm a clumsy clot, or the surface of the case, so I score the case, and that's not good. So I tend to use this little gizmo. Now, I have heard a few complaints from people using this little device, complaining that the blade scores the case itself, but I wonder if they're using it correctly. For example, I do not position the CD blade on the spine of the jewel case. I move it to the opposite side, the part that opens up. It has a deeper indentation. Same with the CD blade. I never run that along the spine, but I do run it on the top or on the side that opens up. Also for both, I run the tool gently across the cases. I never really press that hard. And well, it all seems to work for me at any rate. Check it out. But as I say, if you prefer a different but similar tool, please tell me and tell me why. If there's something else out there that can do a better job for whatever reason that might be, I'm all ears. And that's it, folks. Hopefully you've enjoyed this particular video. But before you go, I'm going to give you an answer to that trivia question. And I didn't say, did I? But we're on the same theme, a physics theme. So, where were we? The middle name of Jimi Hendrix was the same as that of a British company that built a worldwide reputation for the loudest amplifiers. What is the name of the company? And the answer is Marshall. In the 60s and 70s, Marshall, started by former dance band drummer Jim Marshall, from West London no less, built amplifiers for all the loudest British bands, from The Who on down. And that's your lot. Thank you very much for staying to the end of this video. Thank you also for all of your support. It's much appreciated. I'll be back next week with another video. Until then, folks, bye-bye for now.